What up, y'all? It's your man, Abuamerican. Hey, this is another video. Like I said in my last one, because I'm spending so much time like responding to guys in groups and chats and Facebook and whatnot on relationships and how to deal with certain situations, I decided to just make this stuff content because it's burning up a lot of my time. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to respond to this, organically, how I would normally when I'm responding, and I'll send them a link. So this goes to JG, and me and JG have actually been talking for quite some time. Not quite some time, but prior to this. And so he starts off here in this new chapter of relationship advice. You mentioned that you used to give chocolates and flowers. What, you don't do that anymore at all? No, JG, I don't, and that's because it's kind of played out. When you start doing stuff like that, you join the ranks of like 10,000 other dudes in a woman's life. Women have been getting free stuff just because of bobbly bits in the right spot, because of BJJ, since it's been a thing, since BJJ's been a thing. And so you need to stand out. You need to do something different. Don't get offended. A lot of people get offended because they automatically think of their mom and their sisters and whatever else. I got a mom, I got a sister, I got a daughter. But in general, women aren't very intelligent. Now, I understand they go to university and whatnot, but that's not a sign of intelligence. Part of the signs of a lack of intelligence is a propensity towards novelty. And women have a strong propensity towards novelty. And accordingly, novelty wears off very quickly, which means it's sort of like downregulation receptor transcription. Addiction. That's the more appropriate term. What I just said, downregulation receptor transcription, is the biological function or mechanism in terms of addiction. You give them something and they need more. You start off with weed, you need crack. Okay, maybe not weed, but you know what I'm saying. You get your entry-level drug that takes you up higher into your crack addict, living on the street, smoking flakka, or if you inject it, I don't know what the hell. Anyway, so don't do it. It's played out, it's tired, it's something that women know already. You got to be original. Come up with something more original, and don't just give her stuff. She has to earn it. Make sure that she has earned whatever you give her. She's been receiving stuff just because she's a girl most of her life. And society does it to them now too. And that's why they're so spoiled and entitled. So don't you start doing that now and make her spoiled and entitled in your relationship with you. She's already got a spoiled and entitled relationship with society on a whole. And you're competing with that as a potential husband. So don't reinforce it and encourage it on an interpersonal level. Moving on. I would like to know more about polygyny. I think you know about polygyny in a basic sense. For those who don't know, polygyny, it's not polygamy. Polygamy is where one person has multiple partners. That could be male or female. Polyamory is when a woman has more than one male partner, and polygyny is when a man has more than one female partner. He used the right term. But he knows that, obviously. I told my fiance that it's something that I want to do, but it doesn't mean that I'm definitely going to do it. Then you go on to say, how would one go about getting into another marriage? Maybe you could do a video. Okay, first and foremost, you have to be congruent with women. You've already opened the door right here to what they call a congruence test. The more colloquial term is shit test. How so? You said that it's something that you might want to do, but it doesn't mean you definitely want to do it. Then you go on to say to me, how do you go about getting another wife? So it means you have a plan to do it. She's not stupid. Now, being a woman she's going to be like, this guy. Yeah, he says, he's not really want to do it, but he's going to want to do it. She's figured out in her head already that this is something that you're plotting, you're planning. So you've already set yourself up for like a congruence test that she's going to want to drop on you later on, because she's going to want to check your congruence, right? Are your speech and actions in congruence with one another? So I would say, don't put wishful thinking or hopes into your woman's head. Make it an absolute. Make it understood. Something I always say in the groups I'm in is, when you speak to women, you speak to them in absolutes. If I'm like out, okay, if I see a woman and I'm very interested in her, and I want to go game or whatnot, I'll go kick some basic game, and then I'll speak to her in absolutes. I don't say this to her when I want to get her number. I say, can I get your number? I don't say that. I speak to her in absolute. I say, I'd like your number. Now it puts her in a position of like, oh, he didn't really ask me, did he? It puts me in the frame of authority. And that's what you need in your relationship when you're dealing with women. Women are like small children. If you don't have a frame of authority, I taught children. That's what I did in the Middle East my first year there. I taught children. If you don't have a frame of authority, they will run all over you. And that's what's happening to men in the 21st century. They've given up the frame of authority and women are running over them. And women are like children. You have to be in solid frame control with them at all time. If not, they will destroy you. Trust me, I learned this about kids, and I saw the relation between kids and women based off of my teaching experience. I used to be a teacher. Dude, absolute frame control comes through authority. Now, authority in this day and age doesn't come through like absolute brute force kick in the door type stuff. You have to have game in order to maintain authority with women, because you're not going to gain authority through financial and economic strength or power over her. It's not going to happen, because she can use the court systems to take that from you and the laws of the land to take that from you. Remember what I said about old social contract? It's gone. It's dead. Build it and she will come and live under your safety and security and your whatever else. It's just goofy talk from men with wishful thinking. More wishful thinking than my last video about feminists coming back to the table with logic and reason. It's not going to happen. So disabuse yourself of that idea. Learn game, learn how to, dominate a woman through her emotional condition and situation. That is the new social contract. Women don't need your money, they don't need your safety, they don't need your security until any sort of societal collapse happens. When societal collapse happens, okay, fine, we can talk. But that's all theoretics. Okay? Deal with her from the aspect of game and dominance. Be the man that she wants, the guy she dreams about. Everyone wants a Cinderella complex dream story. You got to feed into it. How would one go about getting into a marriage? Maybe you could do a video. Now, build it and she will come. This is where it works. Now, you have to build it and she will come, but you have to build it like where you are, in appearances, the absolute most optimal choice in terms of her hypergamy in society. But do it from a game standpoint. Now, of course, it helps to have nice stuff, good degree and whatnot, and money and whatnot, but you don't want that to be your starter, because if you attract her based upon that, that's all she's there for. How do you go about doing it? This is a question that's kind of difficult to answer, because me, it's just a matter of fact. I play numbers game. I personally spin a lot of plates. I got a lot of women in the background, and in terms of Islam, for those non-Muslim viewers that are watching, a Muslim man's allowed to have 4 wives. I right now have more women that want to marry me than I am allowed permissibly to marry in Islam, and over half of them watch this channel. I say this with confidence and arrogance, and if they want to kick me to the curb and say, "Oh, you said this and that applies to me," okay, bye. You know what? There's 6 other women back there. They're not going to get upset. You know what I mean? And if you're gone, you're gone. I like you. I wish you would stay. I really would like to put you on a team, but you know what? These are things that I do personally. It's a numbers game, and you got to find those women that find you the most attractive, and they want to be, and they desire to be with you as a man. And that's not going to come, you can't just build that with any and every woman. The more attractive they are, the more difficult it becomes. But statistically, from a numbers game standpoint, one of those women will be very attractive, and she's going to want to be with you. And so you just need to spin a lot of plates. How would you go about doing it? Yeah. So you just got to keep going. And I go through a process of elimination, even the highly attractive ones. It's like women are used to shit testing men. I shit test women. I put them through the ringers. I take them on the emotional roller coaster and see how they respond. Because I was telling Square Peg in my last video, I came off of a relationship with a woman. She's moderately attractive, white German girl. Moderately now, because she's hit the wall. She's 47, and she still looks good. She's not a bad looking woman. But back in her days, quality white girl. But I spent 24 years of my life with that woman, and she jammed me up. She got me good, and I didn't expect it. And I was watching Entrepreneurs in Cars, and his last video, I just commented on it, he was saying, women will do stuff that you wouldn't expect them to do. Now, prior to my red pill knowledge, I didn't expect that she would try and jam me up and destroy my life, which she did a pretty good job of. So now, I don't give them that opportunity. I always keep them at arm's length, and I put them in a position to where I need to check their responses to emotional duress and stress. I will put them under emotional pressure in order to see how they react. And I do this quite regularly, because the more emotionally attached they become, the more emotionally unstable they become over time. So there is no particular methodology other than running game in order to gather up a large number of women. Coming up on 10 minutes is far too long. I need to be more concise. Final part of your question. I don't think my first wife would have much of a problem with it. Let me stop right there, even though there's more to this question. Get that out of your head right now. I don't care how responsive or how passive she is. She's going to have a problem with it. She's a woman, and she's emotional. And what you're going to do is you're going to get married. You're going to be with her for a while alone, unless you marry two at once. Some guys do that, and it's a smart move. But if you're with her even for as much as 6 months, and I experienced this. I had a Kenyan wife. I experienced this. She came in the door understanding that she was not going to be the only wife. And the moment I married a Somali, she lost her crap entirely. I saw she was getting too comfortable. This is prior to red pill. I've always had some sort of red pill type thing going on, and I've made a lot of red pill decisions, but I made a lot of mistakes too, because it wasn't a system back then. So anyway, 6 months, she's going to get comfortable. And things are going to get familiar, and she's going to get relaxed, and then her competition anxiety, her desire, her urgency, her sexual urgency is going to go on the decline, and she's going to get relaxed. That's security they seek, but they really don't seek. And the moment you bring someone else into that picture, she's going to freak out. Let there be no question in your mind that that woman is not going to freak out. She's going to freak out, and you're going to be the number one frontline victim of whatever unstable behavior is displayed off of her. You're going to take the brunt of it, excuse me. I'm more worried about my family around us, i.e. sisters, mothers, etc., who would be a bad influence. Well, then you need to have frame control with those women in your family also. I mean, that's just a simple fact. Look, frame control is frame control. You need to have frame control with your women folk in your family also. It's just a reality. You got to run. Game works on them just as well as it does on everybody else. They just have to see you as that absolute alpha, that whatever else. And don't go around saying, I'm alpha, this, that, the other, and beating your chest with it. That's not the entire point. But remember what I was talking about in one of my prior videos. I forget which one. Alpha cred to women is subjective, and it's environmental. It can change from one environment to the next. This goes back to what I was saying about low intelligence, and it's not an insulting low intelligence. It's just, it is what it is. Men have to be better, so we are. That's why we're more intelligent. So you have to have frame control with them also. If you are, you see, if you're going to game, I wasn't always Muslim. You were born into a Muslim family. But if you're going to game a group of women, what do you have to have? You have to have alpha cred with the entire crew. You have to get the entire crew on your team. That includes the women folk in your particular instance, since you're not out on the street gaming women. You have to have these women completely on your team, where they're like, wow, yeah, you know what, if another woman comes in, this is like sisterhood and blah, 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 and they're going to be so happy with this guy because he's so amazing, he's so awesome. That's the guy you got to be. You're not going to get that from like beta, slumped shoulders. I'm not talking physically, but I'm just talking like your entire personality is sort of like a crumpled one. And it's like, I'm bringing this girl in. Can I keep her? No. Absolutes. Boom. Hey, you know what? I got this girl. I just married her. You're going to love her just as much as I do. This, that, the other. And you're going to speak to them absolutes, and it's going to be amazing because you sold it to them as amazing. And believe it or not, this does work if you have the right congruent personality to go with it at all times. So this is part of splitting plates and the numbers game. You learn it after a time. If you approach 10,000 women, I'm not telling you to go out and approach 10,000 women, but you get the idea. I'm sure you can narrow it down shorter than this. Damn, 14 minutes. I need to make this shorter. But really, no, I'm not going to make it shorter, because this is how I deal with you guys when I'm dealing with you on WhatsApp and whatnot. When you get these women on your team, when you're dealing with a large group of women, in terms of like numbers game, it's like experience on the job. Who's gonna, and I like to refer back to square peg, and I'll say it again. If If you're not a member of his channel, go check it out. He was talking about intelligence. And a guy who went to university and studied automotive engineering, and a guy who spent that same time that this guy was spent studying was working as a mechanic. When you put them both in front of a broken engine, who's going to be able to fix the car fastest? The mechanic who didn't study, because he's got like 8 years of practical experience on fixing cars, including the updates and upgrades that have come out on the market since he's started becoming a mechanic. The engineer, over time, yeah, maybe he'll be better at fixing cars, but right now he's better. It's the same thing with women. 10,000 approaches, dealing with a lot of women, you're going to gain experience, and you're going to gain understanding into their, and insight into their personalities and their mentalities. And so if you've got a bunch of women folk around you already, your sisters and mothers or whatever else, you should already have insight into how they think and how they behave. You should already be ahead of the game. Anyway, JG. Yeah, if you can't limit their bad influence, then you have to manage it. And that's a bad position to be in, because now you're dealing with damage control as your foundational stance in your relationship with your wives and then the women folk, your family. And let there be no question you're going to lose that, because the sisterhood is strong and emotional. Women know how to tug at each other emotionally. You'll lose that battle. So you need to learn game. And you need to learn how to game the women folk of your family, and then use that on the women folk that you marry. That's about the best you can do, bro. And don't be deterred. Don't let anybody hold you back. Don't let everybody say, oh, this is going to happen. Things are going to go. Yeah, maybe it'll go bad. But you know what? There's billions of women out there. One goes, another one will come. Take her. Get her. Get another one. That one goes, get another one. They both go get 2 more. Don't have a scarcity mindset in regards to women. That's one of the best things that you can do in terms of having like an alpha cred in regards to women. And like attracting more. Because Prada is a thing. Libotinis are a thing. Gucci is a thing because women want it and other women want it. And that's how it works at social proofing. And it works like that for men also. It doesn't work against you to have a woman. It works for you. And you just got to understand that. And then use it to your benefit. If 2 women want you, there's 4 women that want you. That's why all these women want those fat, ugly guys in Hollywood. Because everybody else wants him. Because he's the Libertini of men. Why is Libertini a thing with women? Just because other women want it. Oh, intelligence. Novelty. Be that novelty. And maintain that novel position. And as long as other women always want you in a constant cycle, there'll always be women there. Even if one comes and goes, another one will replace her. Sounds harsh, but that's the reality, bro. That's what they do to you. They have a non-scarcity mindset in regards to men right off the rip. So don't let them shame you into having that same mentality towards them. That's it, man. I gotta get outside and enjoy some of this nice weather. It's like a 20-minute video. It's way too long. This is your man, Abuamerican. Catch me on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, all at Abuamerican. I am out.